Alright, so welcome back here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hopefully we got those small technical difficulties worked out here. Just starting qualifying. Looks like most drivers have taken a lap here all the way up to 11th. Paul Ross currently your pole sitter with a 28.69 or 59. Todd Smith second. No change there from practice. Watching Paul Ross go around at the moment. And it looks like, look at some, Paul's going to look like he's going to pull it in, yes, and put most of the top five finished with qualifying. Notably, Peter Short, believe he tagged the wall, so that will disqualify one of his laps. I believe I saw that. Peter Short going to stop there. Looks like we only have a few guys left that need to take a time. That's the 17 of Cameron Rich, last week's winner. Take a look at the speeds entering this corner. Mentioned 200 miles an hour. Yeah, they're going to hit it just before the straight or the start-finish line. And now he's going to slow it down, so that'll be the end of his run. There we go. Here's Nick Miller. Definitely going to hit 200, entering 3 there. Personally, I didn't think we were going to hit these highest speeds here at Las Vegas, but obviously showing it different here. So Nick's going to get to the line. Currently sits 13th. And he did not improve his time, so looks like we don't have much. Yeah, only about 2 cars left. Should note tonight that we do have an off-track official back on the job. It's the Drew Eisenman, the owner of EisenTech Enterprises. So hopefully none of his drivers break the rules here tonight. But so as qualifying finishes up here, we see that white line, Hunter, and I think the one thing we definitely have to note is there's no out of bounds here tonight. That apron is all open track. Some guys can make a little advantage down there. Some choose to keep it on the track. What can be some of the advantages made down there?
Those advantages down there, I feel like, are really easy for drivers to, get the draft off in the turn 4 and get there and try to get past for the lead or for any passes. I feel like tonight you might see that last lap pass right there at the finish line. Might be a close finish tonight for sure.
I don't believe, Carlos can correct me, I don't believe they can go below that white line before the start-finish line, so won't see any crazy moves like that, thankfully, but I think maybe they can. Well, it's gonna be that should make an interesting for restarts.
I think on restarts you have to, the person in front of you has to pass the line, but after that it's free game from there.
No, I believe 2012 Tony Stewart made that work, so okay, so for the race you can, so that'll be pretty interesting. Alright, well, that's going to finish up qualifying. So let's take you to where everybody's starting here tonight. And it will be Paul Ross on the pole here tonight. There we go. With a 28.659 with Todd Smith, I believe, filling in for Levi Zielinski, starting second. Peter Short going to start third, Chuck Sweeting fourth. Nathan Velez is going to round out the top 5 there, with Dylan Hickey going to start 6th. Johnny Thomas going to start 7th. Christopher Munger going to start 8th. Richard Hines will start 9th, and Samuel Close will round out the top 10, and we'll send it over to Hunter for the top 20.
Then we have Jordan Till in the 11th spot. We have Richard Lafferty in the 12th spot. Then we have Nick Miller in the 9th and the 13th, and Cameron Rich in the 14th starting spot. Then we have Luis Salamoso, I hope I said that right, in the 15th spot. Then we have Kevin Flynn in the 16th. Finn. Kyle Hanshaw in the 17th. And then we have Matt Hackenberg in the 44th starting in the 18th. Then we had Wade Lear in the 19th spot, and Mike Stevens in this 20th. And we have Chad Brown in the 21st spot.
So I believe with that line rule, I think my brain may have just been mixed up with NASCAR's ruling. Obviously, they don't run the same rules here, so that's I kind of worked that out in my head. But that'll definitely make for some crazy restarts. Before we go green here, Hunter, I believe 22 cars in the field tonight. Quite the packed field. What are you looking forward to here?
Looking forward to that bumper-to-bumper racing. I feel it's going to be, 2-3 wide racing in the corners, and it's going to be exciting. That is for sure.
Absolutely. High speeds, high stakes here at Vegas. Got told by a little birdie that should be about 41 laps on fuel. Have to see if they put that to the test here tonight. I have to imagine. I don't believe we'll get too many caution flags here tonight, but always a possibility. But do believe we're probably going to see green flag pit stops at some point here tonight. So 133 laps around this mile-and-a-half racetrack for quite the show. The Paul Ross, again, last week noted from Five Flags that I believe that he didn't really look forward to this racetrack too much. Well, he's put it on the pole here tonight. Another driver still looking for his first win. Along with most of the field, as Eisentek, as we keep noting, has quite the stranglehold over this whole series at the moment. So, they head into turn 3 here. We'll get set. A lot of notables in the top 10. A lot of guys who really haven't shown their face too much, getting set for hopefully what will be a great night for them, both points and finish-wise. As pace car is going to pull in and get to the restart box, and the green flag is out. Paul Ross gets quite the jump on the field, and we're racing. The one, no question, but the race is going to be on for second between Jordan Teal. Or excuse me. Scoring got a little mixed up there between Peter Short and Chuck Sweeting. Side by side into 3. Todd Smith going to try and join this battle. Well, 3 wide off the corner as Paul Ross going to lead lap 1. Already seeing Paul move up a little bit on the racetrack up to that middle line. Really
maybe that middle line right there will help save some tires towards the end of the race. Maybe last longer, not to take those green flag stops as soon as possible, maybe.
I believe so. Maybe experimenting just a little bit too, but yeah, absolutely. Save your tires a little bit up there as Chuck Sweeting has made the pass for second. Peter Short up to third, and he's getting pressured by Todd Gilliland just behind. Of course, a lot of racing throughout the field here. That's the 87 of Richard Hines. 83 just in front of them. Riding on board with the 59 of Todd Smith. Trying to make that move for third. He will get underneath the 22, but believe the 22 will have the momentum off the corner on that high side.
As you see the 59 drafting up to the 22, maybe looking to the inside. Here we go. But he's just going to keep right there behind him as they cross the start-finish line.
And Hunter, I think you know quite well, it's just so difficult to get... Oh, I heard someone spinning, and the first caution is going to be out. It's the 14 of Kevin Finn. Some hits up in front of them. 46 of Kyle Hanshaw involved. 63 of Mike Stevens already. That car is torn up. Replay. Happened in one. Looked like he got a little jumbled up there on the entry. There we go. Oh, looks like the 63 into the 14's right rear. Not sure if he got squeezed in there. Maybe if we can get a better view of that. Looked fairly close. Oh. Just be a little car a car going up, one down, but that was tight racing into one there. A little bit of looked like a little bit of net code there. That's going to bring out our first caution. And leaders coming to pit road.
What do you think here, Justin? What do you think they're going to take? You think taking fuel? You take 4 tires? What do you think right here?
There's only 6 laps on that run, so maybe, if anything, possibly 2 tires. I know this track, I don't believe it takes too much out of the tires, but I heard Paul Ross comment about that earlier in practice. We'll have to see here, though. The whole field brings it in. These pit boxes a little wider for Paul this week. Noted he had some problems earlier at 5 flags, and see who wins the race off pit road. And it will be Paul, no question. Cameron Rich, however, I believe possibly took 2 tires with a quick stop there and gained some track position. Pit stop times there, and $17 not listed on that, but showing a 10.2 on mine, so have to believe he took 2. Definitely made up a lot of track position, though. See if he can capitalize on that.
Hopefully it doesn't hurt him too bad with everybody taking 4, but I mean, he only has 6 laps on the tires of racing, so I mean, should be pretty good from here on out.
I'd have to believe too. And I don't think this track is too abrasive on these tires. I haven't raced on it in quite a while though, so I mean, these drivers will know best. Another lap here is oh, 17, small little blink there. Just looking through the field here, Kevin Finn's still on pit road getting repairs done to that car. Kyle Hanshaw on track, he's going to come back to pit road. And Mike Stevens has disconnected here tonight, so his race ends early. Was sitting, I believe, 9th in the standings. It's going to be a pretty bad points night for him, unfortunately. See that he had been starting to put together solid finishes, and unfortunately it's going to go sour for him tonight at lap 6. Well, Hunter, we've definitely seen how racy they get, especially into these corners, as those the corners kind of narrow out in quite a hurry.
Yeah, you see everybody really taking the inside of the lane here. I mean, you see Paul Ross up front kind of playing with the middle lane to maybe save a little bit of tires, but most everybody's right up against that wide line in the corner.
I believe we'll be taking the 1 to go here. Paul Ross is going to be your leader. Chuck Sweeting 2nd. Peter Short 3rd. Cameron Rich up to 4th. Todd Smith back to 5th as the lights are off. So we'll go back racing here on lap 10 of 133. Kind of looking up, or looking through the field here, it doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot of movement. Matt Hackathorn back to 15th. See if he can make his way back up through the field, along with Christopher Munger back to 16th.
I will say this much: my first time up here in the booth for this series, man, you can't really miss Paul Ross in that 18 for sure in that paint scheme.
Absolutely, yeah. Proper colors here for Vegas, if you will. All neon
you
down.
are right.
So we'll try it again here. Pace car going to pull off this time. Let's check out that cool restart camera once again here. Pace car is off. And green flag back out. Paul Ross right on top of it. 26 didn't really look like he got a great start as Cameron Rich pulled right up to the back of him. And no pressure into one. Battle is on for second, however, side by side off two. Between the 22 and the 26. Chuck Sweeting going to win that battle. As Cameron Rich now going to start to fall back just a little bit. Looks like he's stuck on that high side and noted he took 2 tires. Maybe hurting him. See if he can regroup here. The 91 of Dylan Hickey just underneath. And here comes Johnny Thomas just outside of the camera right behind the 17. Oh, I think we're going to make it 3 wide. Nope, they backed out of it just behind there. It looked like the 8, 87, and 4 but had a quite tight battle back there. They settled it out, however. Up front, Chuck Sweeting is caught the 18. Looks like he's going to put a little pressure on Paul here. Down the backstretch, everybody kind of singled out, but still very close racing throughout the field here. This is on board the 26. Paul just a little bit higher.
As you see Paul running that kind of the higher line than everybody else, and you can kind of imagine if maybe one of these drivers are going to start mimicking him and start trying that higher line to see if they can put it in there and start going past these cars on the outside instead of the inside now.
Thought that 26 was kind of flirting with the wall there. Didn't seem like he got off the corner, but was able to work it out. The 59 of Todd Smith going to dive it underneath the 22 there. Makes it stick. Started sliding up just a little bit. Just a small note here, the 14 of Kevin Finn has called it a night as well. Was involved in that lap 6 crash. And he's disconnected for the night. Short gets clear, the 59. You can see back there that battle going on. Like the 5, Samuel Close, back there with the 91 of Dylan Hickey. And they'll get that worked out. Cameron Rich back to 6th there. Seems like he's kind of found a little hole.
What a great move by the 48 right there, trying to get under and pass in the turn 4.
He looked like he wanted to come right back at him. See what he can do into 1 here. And I didn't think we'd get that high tonight, but you saw Cameron Rich all the way up to the wall there. So we're kind of searching around Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the moment, it appears. I don't think Cameron... doesn't seem like he has the speed quite yet. Didn't look very comfortable in practice. I'm not quite sure if maybe he's just kind of fighting grip at the moment or what. No, he took 2 tires, but it doesn't seem like he doesn't... or he has a comfortable amount of speed in that 17 this week.
Looks like that number 17 is trying to find that Kyle Larson line to work for him tonight, but it's going to be a rough one because it's not much rubber putting down up there.
Yes, sir. Everyone back to the bottom of 3 and 4, so it looks like they're trying to make something work in 1 and 2 at the moment. Battle just behind that. Four of Luis Salmaso and the 87 of Richard Hines going at it. And there's the 44 of Matt Hackathorn now. Side by side, 3 rows deep there for a little bit. Good to see you racing all over the track. Things to note up front, Peter Short got by the 26 of Chuck Sweeting, who's now fallen back to the 59 of Todd Smith. And Peter Short, 3 wins on the season, is going to put the challenge up to Paul Ross. on board the 22. I mean, lap 20 still got racing all over the track here. Oh, they're just a little bit farther back. You can see, again, Cameron trying to put something down on that high line. Trying to get the run on Johnny Thomas as well. Thomas just a little high there in 3 and 4. But nothing will come of that.
The number 5 gets a great run off of turn 4, going underneath the 17 for the pass, and I think he'll do it this time as the 17 goes high up again. That high line of Kyle Larson loves to run. As the number 48 tries to look there, but he sticks right behind him and just sticking in the line.
Thought Nathan might have had him there. He's going to try again in the 3 and 4. That 17 just continues. Fall back. Well, no, I thought the 48 was gonna have more speed off 4 than that. Looked like he had the momentum building, but Cameron will now fall back to 7th as like Dylan Hickey's gonna try and put the pressure on Nathan now. He's gonna try again. He's not giving up. Looking through the field here. Probably about the best battle we got going on at the moment. Lead is tensed up just a little bit. Still about 3 car lengths between them. Kind of broken away a little bit from Chuck Sweeting. And Todd Smith in 4th, just a little bit back, so real pressure by them, but Samuel Close is going to put the move on Johnny Thomas here down the front straightaway, and it'll be side by side into 1. As Close will get that spot, and just behind them as well, Nathan Velez going to make the move on the 17, and we'll finally clear him. So Rich back to 8th. See if they can find something with that car, but as he has scraped the wall now, Cameron Rich has just a little bit, not enough to do any real damage, but Hunter, we knew the higher and higher you go, the more risk you're going to be of getting into that wall. It's just kind of inevitable.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, you wonder if he's going to keep running that high line up there, he's going to move down like everybody else is doing. Kind of the middle line right there in 1 and 2 is kind of the prime spot where everybody's been running. But he's trying to get that high line started, but we'll see what happens towards the end of the race if we can get some rubber sticking up there for him.
And there's the difference there between how high Cameron's getting and 2 in front of him. 48 of Nathan Velez and Johnny Thomas just in front. Pressure was being applied from behind as well. Up front there, though. These two look like they're kind of dead even, but Chuck Sweeting just behind him in 3rd. He's starting to close that gap up here. It might be a 3-way race for the lead before it's all over here. Just behind. On board Paul Ross.
As you look back in the pack, number 17 has passed the 83 in the tri-oval, going into turn 1, and he's hitting the high line once again. And he made it work. He made it stick, and now he's got a great run off of turn 2.
As the 2 he just passed, fighting behind. Or excuse me, Johnny Thomas he just passed. Dylan Hickey, it's going to be close at the exit of turn 4. Kind of slid up in front of Johnny. I don't think he's going to take too kindly to that, but now he's going to lose a position to his teammate, Richard Lafferty, as they'll be side by side into 1. is on board with Peter Short. As now the 26 has caught the 22. He's actually going to get underneath. I don't believe he's going to be able to make the move, but definitely showing he's there. Chuck Sweeting is on Peter Short. I thought he was going to make it side by side down the back straightaway. Didn't quite have the momentum. I was about to catch the lap car of the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw.
Yeah, you guys see these three cars up front are kind of pulling away from the pack, having a great battle for the first through third spots as they pass the lapped car going into turn 1.
None of them really seem to mind that he took the bottom as they're all running the middle line, as Todd Smith now running that Cameron Rich line. The bout caught the wall there too. Looked like he caught it at the right time though. Samuel Close has cracked the top 5, however, in that 5th spot. Starting to make his way up through the field. And I knew he'd be a factor here before all is said and done. We're only at lap 32 currently. And this is the real battle right now for second. Peter Short, Chuck Sweeting. Down to the bottom, 3 cars under a blanket there. See? All seemed like he got a little loose off turn 4 there, and that will open the door for Peter Short to the high side. Paul's going to have to go down to the bottom. No, he's going to be able to clear him into 1. And that opened the door for Chuck Sweeting. They'll be side by side down the backstretch.
As we see in turn 1 and 2, that high line kind of hurt Peter Short coming out of it. And now you see Chuck Sweeting taking advantage maybe, but he's not getting a good run off of turn 4, and he'll just come back in line and stick right behind Peter Short.
Just behind, it almost looked like Matt Hackathorn was on the apron exiting 2 there. It was interesting. But Paul Ross a little higher there in that middle groove as Chuck Sweeting once again going to put the pressure on. And all of this racing is only going to allow Todd Smith behind in 4th to start closing that gap up. So it's just going to bring more and more cars into this race, and the 22 has hit the wall, and he got a pretty good amount of damage from that.
That he is, but he's fighting back a little bit, but he's slowed down as Todd Smith is charging as well, going underneath in turn 2, and he's looking, but he's trying to get a run off. As 22 gets loose and hits the wall, maybe scrapes a little bit, and or is that Todd Smith? I think he took that spot away from him.
And that was close off turn 2, fighting a guy on the inside of him, and has to watch out for that wall on the outside. But definitely see that the 22 a little bit of damage. I'm not sure that will affect it too terribly. Well, let me get a better look at that before I. Yeah, that's looking on the onboard. That's okay. Yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. So probably gonna hurt that car, but get a caution, repair that. Don't believe he'll probably do that under green flag conditions. There's a battle between the 44 and the 8. That's going to be really close off turn 4. Oh, I think the 22 loose once again into 1. He's all the way back to 7th now.
He is really struggling, and the damage on the outside may really hurt that car coming out.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. Wow. Really loose on the trial there. His teammate Cameron Rich blinking just a little bit more there. He's going to be really loose off turn 4 once again. Yeah, that car is definitely hurting with handling. And what a shame. Hopefully he can get that fixed up, fight for the lead once again, but at the moment he's just going to try and hold on to it, hope for a caution.
And as it looks right now, everybody's kind of spread out and doing their own thing. There's a couple of battles on the track, but it could be green lap racing for the rest of the time.
We were looking at it there, the battle for 9th there between Luis Salmaso and the 8 of Richard Lafferty. Lafferty a little bit of left side damage, not too terribly much, but enough to crinkle the hood. Have to wonder if there was some contact between the two. Team owner Johnny Thomas just behind the 8. This is on board with Johnny on the bumper. So currently on lap 38, and went back to green flag racing at lap 10, and if our numbers were correct, should be seeing green flag pit stops around lap 50 to 52, somewhere around there, as the race is on between the two teammates. Lafferty on the inside, Thomas on the outside. Oh, Paul Ross has come down to pit road, so either our numbers are off or maybe a little bit of short pitting here. Another guy has followed him down. It was the 5 of Sam Close. The 2-3 OG teammates there have come down early to pit road. What we presume to be early, at least. Have to see if anybody follows him down. Chuck Sweeting is going to stay out for the time being. As the 17, no, excuse me, 59 of Todd Smith coming down to pit road. As well as the 48, the 4, so Hunter definitely expected this. When car comes to pit road, you almost have to follow them down.
That you are right, Justin. I mean, when you see the leader going down, you got to take a chance and, follow the lead. But you see the Chuck Swing is taking his own time and doing his own pit strategy. As we get a great look of him right here, coming around turn 4.
He's going to stay out. Cameron Rich going to come back down, or going to come down. As well as the 44 of Matt Hackathorn. Oh, real loose. It's that's one thing I don't think we've kind of described here about Las Vegas. It's quite the difficult pit road to get onto, because you're going from about 180 all the way down to, what is it, 55? 50. Quite the task. Chuck Sweeting gonna stay out again though. Well, the 38 of Cody Wright gonna go by on those fresh tires, so just kind of a example there, the difference between the two. Cameron Rich off pit road. Your Hines has brought it down. Jordan Teal, both those drivers just off, and you have to be careful here. We do have the 3 in, 3 out pit box rules, so. And we have Drew Eisenman, the off-track official, enforcing that here this week.
You gotta wonder how much longer Chuck Sweeney's gonna stick out there and run these laps on these old tires. Right? Everybody else is getting new tires. And
Todd Smith back on pit road. Have to believe there was some sort of penalty. I was just reading out there, see if maybe anything came through. I have to imagine speeding, perhaps. He will unfortunately bring it down. Was running 4th. 4 green flag pit stops. And that's definitely going to hurt him. Going to go down a lap here. So Chuck Sweeting down the back straightaway. And at this point, Hunter, he's ultimately just kind of losing track time the longer he stays out.
You're right. You gotta wonder how many more laps he's gonna take, because you got other drivers taking these four tires, and they're obviously showing lap times are much quicker than Chuck Sweeting right now.
And surprisingly, to me at least, Peter Short has still not come down pit road. Currently 2nd. Top 4 have stayed out, but Peter Short, with how much that car was handling, I'm surprised he didn't bring it down really as soon as the leaders brought it down, but I think he might have gotten a handle on it. So here comes the 5 of Sam Close. That's going to be close. Oh, I don't think he hit the wall there, but that was mighty close trying to get by these slower cars. Cameron Rich is going to follow him by as well.
You can obviously tell if these fresher tires are just blowing away these lead lap cars right now. They're going to start catching up here. Just how many more laps will it take for them to go down pit lane?
And we'll give you a little taste here of how much the fall off is. Chuck Sweeting, his last time by at 31.314. Paul Ross, who just went by at 29.561, so a good 2 seconds fall off there. And again, that's ultimately just losing more and more positions once they come down. And now the second, third, and fourth place cars will bring it down pit road. Have to believe Peter Short won't fix that damage on pit road quite a bit, but can't really take the time to.
As Chuck Sweeting still stays out, going around turn 2, you gotta think he's gotta take it down pit lane this time around. But
at this point, as far as our fuel numbers go, he's kind of, it looks like he's just going to run it to the end. As now he's going to bring it down. And hope it wasn't speeding. Didn't look like it, but that will give Paul Ross the lead back. Cameron Rich in second, surprisingly, actually. Samuel Close will take over the third spot. They will come around Chuck Sweeting, who's just getting the right sides done. And we'll see how much time was lost. Cameron Rich still running that Kyle Larson line. Around 1 and 2. So with staying out that much longer, Chuck Sweeting went from about 3rd place to 9th place now. So that just gives you an idea of why you don't want to stay out that much longer on track.
But as you say that, yeah, look at it. He comes in this at about 83 laps left to go. He might only have to take the pit to go pit one more time around, and might be able to stretch it out just enough where everybody else might have to go in 2 more times.
Sure, I didn't think about that. Well, we're in Vegas. Might as well gamble.
If he's feeling lucky, you're feeling lucky right here. This is the best place to feel lucky at.
Especially with a car that good. I mean, you have some leeway to try and get on a different strategy, knowing, you know, if it doesn't work out, maybe you can get back up to the front anyways. Or at least some spots. Battle there between Richard Lafferty and Cody Wright for 15th. Just in front of them, Nick Miller and Peter Short going at it for 11th. Easily will take that spot away from Nick. Just kind of looking through the field here at the moment for battles. Doesn't look like there's... Well, we do have one just in front of them, actually, for 9th. Between Dylan Hickey and Wade Lear. As Wade gets by the 91. Poking through, did see Cameron Rich just a little blink there once again, so. And the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw, another one to note, called to tonight, was involved as well in that lap 6 incident. And saw that extra stop that Todd Smith had to make. He's all the way back to 19th, 2 laps down, so see if he can at least race his way back to 1 lap down. That's just Cameron Rich in front of him. That's the battle once again between the 83 now, actually, and the 91. Like Dylan got into the wall at some point, unfortunately. That's the battle for 5th, or 4th, excuse me, between Nathan Velez and Luis Salmaso. Kind of surprised how high they were going down the straightaway there, usually on a white line, but Nathan Velez going to take it all the way up to the wall, and Luis surprisingly going to pass him there on, well, not the bottom, but the middle at least.
Yes, he did. Nathan Velez took that Cameron Rich line and kind of lost some speed there, and that's the reason why.
And Nick Miller looking like he's going to continue to lose a few spots here. Richard Lafferty going to go by. So this is about the closest battle on the track between this 4 and 48. Everyone's kind of spread out a little bit. Actually, here we go. A battle between the 22 and the 55. As soon as we got to the battle, that ended, but we do have a battle for the top 10 position here between Johnny Thomas and Wade Laird. Another owner versus driver battle here for JTR. And Johnny looking like he's going to try and make the move on Christopher Munger here in the 55 just ahead. Down to the bottom, and he will make that work. Just up ahead of them as well. The 26 and the 44 going at it. That's for 6, excuse me. Sweeting will get by him. And well, no, sets his sights on Nathan Velez. And down to the apron there.
I've been looking at the lap times here, and it looks like Cameron Rich is taking a little. When I started watching, he's about 3.5 behind, but now he's got under 3. He's trying to take a chance, maybe lock down, bring down Paul Ross, but he's still a little ways out.
Definitely has some ground to make up there. About 2.8 seconds back. Just kind of small little battles throughout the field there. You can see Chuck Sweeting. Oh, thought I saw some smoke there. But Sweeting will make the move past Luis Almaso for a 4th, so definitely taking his advantage of about 10 lap fresher tires. With that gamble he did. Now he's going to try and make the move on Sam Close here. Well, it'll definitely help out your strategy if you definitely got a fast car like we know Chuck Sweeting had.
He's not really taking any battles down as the cars coming in front of him. He's kind of just moving through the field and passing on as he goes and just moving the cars right out of the way.
And now see Sam going to have some pressure behind from Luis Almaso. On board Salmaso. And get a look at some of these cool camera views we see here tonight. Just want to remind you that these cameras are provided by Track Cams for Gourmets. You can find more information and download them from www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. That's Peter Short and Johnny Thomas going at it for the 8th spot. Peter looked like he brought it up a little high. Got it back down. But Johnny Thomas will take that position away for 8th.
And as that battle was going, Luis Almaso has passed the number 5 Sam Close for that 4th place position.
And don't look too far behind, but Matt Hackathorn going to try and take that spot away from Sam now. On board with Matt. A little bit lower than Sam. Again, just kind of browsing through the field here. Everyone's, again, kind of just sprung out a little. That's probably the best battle we have on track at the moment. Not much changing for the lead, as Paul Ross still about 2.9 seconds over Cameron Rich at the moment. However, I believe Chuck Sweeting is going to be there before too long. Definitely shown he has a fast car, and about 0.2 better than Paul last time by. See there, Matt Haggathorn all the way almost down to the apron there. Trying to take that spot away from Sam. We'll make the pass. And we can move Matt up to the top 5. So I believe we're a little past halfway. Obviously, points being awarded at the halfway bonus. Take a look. Probably happened about 66. Points were awarded to Paul Ross in first, Cameron Rich second, Chuck Sweeting third, Luis Almaso fourth, Matt Hackathorn fifth, Sam Close in sixth, Nathan Velez seventh, Johnny Thomas in eighth, Peter Short ninth, and Wade Lear going to round out your top 10 for the halfway points there.
As you see, Chuck Sweeting has caught up to Cameron Rich coming into the tri-oval at the start-finish line. He is tearing down this field left and right, and he is making it his way through. As you see, Cameron Rich has really laid the rubber down at that top lane, trying to make it work, but Chuck Sweeting's going to get right below him. They're going to go side by side down the back straightaway going into turn 3.
And obviously, that strategy that Chuck Sweeting had, definitely paying off. 10-lap fresher tires as Paul Ross brings it to pit road. So 61 laps to go, as well as same close. I have to believe they're going to try and just make it in one more stop.
I was thinking the same. I think they would go at least maybe 5 more laps to bring it down a little bit. We got to think, didn't you say that at the beginning of the race, a 40-lap window? I mean, we're at 61, so they might have to go in one more time.
I mean, interesting strategies here. I mean, no, we could make it, as the 4 is going to bring it down as well. I thought they would just try and stick it out a little bit longer, but obviously they may be feeling that tires are a little worth it here. We know they can definitely go longer. Chuck Sweeting proved that, so. 55, Christopher Munger, down pit road as well. Mentioned the 4.
As that's all going on, Chuck Sweeting passed Cameron Rich for the lead, and he is pulling away as we speak.
So we'll have to believe that Chuck is going to stay out for at least another 10 laps and try and make it to the end at this point, I'd have to believe. I mean, he's kind of put himself in this position. Kind of made his bet at this point, but I mean, with this race being green ever since lap 10, that's kind of a great strategy when you think about it.
Matt, you're right. He went into the pits about lap 83. I bet he tries to push into about 47, 48 laps to go. Maybe string it out for the last pit stop of the night.
My guess as well. Got by for the lead, so no real pressure. Todd Smith just ahead. He gets back down to 1 lap. Kinda hoping, well, I say for caution, but would have to take the wave around, not in the free pass position. As, of course, green flag pit stop's just starting. Matt Hackathorn going to bring it down, however, in the 44. And it looks like that might be the only taker. Oh, the 33. Oh, never mind. Those two battling on track, the 55 and the 33. Christopher a lap down, however. Just came down and made his stop. Nathan Velez going to bring it down pit road here. As well. Oh. Kind of looking at the speeds and when they start slowing down.
As I'm looking at Cameron Rich, he's trying to string out more of the fuel, but you got to think his tires are really starting to struggle, and he's got to be thinking about going to pit lane at least here about 2 to 3 laps, if not this lap right now.
I believe Nick Miller in the 9 has brought it down. Yes, he has. He's making his stop as we speak. Someone hit the wall. Not quite sure who. Heard it there a little bit as... Oh, I thought Cameron Rich was going to bring it down pit road, but he's going to stay out. It was looking like he was positioning himself. Kind of interesting. It looks like everybody kind of got an idea of what Chuck Sweeting was doing and stretching it out a little bit more this time. This round of green flag pit stops. Chad Brown down pit road. Definitely not seeing the huge pack of people trying to pit all at once. This time, a little bit more conservative.
You see that Paul Ross has got his lap back from Chuck Sweeting, now in the 10th position.
Really, the top 9 still having to pit.
You gotta wonder if they're gonna follow Chuck Sweeting down the pit road right once he moves down as well.
I definitely have to believe, yeah, because closing in on that time where I believe Chuck's gonna pit, 48 to go. We're guessing, at least. 91 and Dylan Hickey down pit road. I think they're gonna try and position themselves to do the same thing that Chuck's doing.
It is Vegas. We all got to gamble at one time, and here's a chance to gamble for that last pit stop of the night.
Absolutely. Cameron Rich, nope, gonna stay out. Richard Hines on pit road here. Well, personally, I'm a pretty big fan of this call. You know what the other guy's trying to do. Why not try and stretch that a little, get on his strategy, but some guys still sticking with what they have planned. Like Paul Ross. Samuel Close, Luis Amaso. Definitely going to be the battle of strategies before it's all said and done here.
As we see Cameron Rich pulling down right now into pit lane. We'll see. He's going to take those 4 tires and fresh fuel as we right here.
So 50 laps to go. Cameron Rich brings it down. And I believe, nope, Johnny Thomas going to always keep seeing the speed dropping dramatically, and I think they're coming down to pit road, but just Indo 2 there. Just a little under 50 to go here. Race starting to come to the closing laps ever so slowly. And at this point, it's kind of just a waiting game. See who brings it down first. I think the number we'll definitely have to watch is the laps to go. Chuck Sweeting brings it down pit road. That'll kind of be the idea of how much longer he has to go on fuel based on the numbers we have.
And as looking through the pack, number 38, Cody Wright, has disconnected for the night.
Jordan Teal is brought down pit road, as well as the 59 of Todd Smith. So the top 5 still having to come down pit road at some point here. Won't be too long at this point, kind of closing into that number. Luis Salmaso getting his lap back.
I would say that Chuck Sweeting probably coming in probably maybe 2 to 3 laps here, probably coming down to get those fresh fuel and fresh tires.
I agree with you. I have to believe that's probably going to be the number. Bold strategy considering how much earlier those guys like Paul Ross and Sam Closman. But it's always fun to try and gamble, as we mentioned, especially when you have a fast car like the 26 does. Go 3 a Wade Lear on pit road, so only the top 4 now waiting for their stop. It'll be Sweeting, Johnny Thomas, Peter Short, and Richard Lafferty. As I believe Johnny's going to be bringing it down this time. Yes, he will. I'm going to say it seemed a little slow. And was all the way to the wall there. As Richard Lafferty going to follow him down as well. So now all that's left is Chuck Sweeting and Peter Short. 43 laps to go.
As we look back at the pit stops back at the 83 laps, these 3 drivers that are down pit lane right now they pitted a lap before Chuck Sweeting. So you gotta think Chuck Sweeting could be coming in this time.
But he's going to stay out. Realistically, by our numbers, if he stays out, or if he comes down this time, he'll be, by our numbers, right on the money. So, obviously, he's banking on this race going green to the end. We've only seen 1 caution this race, and that was on lap 6. About a 3-car pile up into 1. I believe at this point all those drivers have called it a night. And he's going to stay out still, so at this point I believe he's going to be on fuel. Going to be good on fuel. And he's a lone man at the moment.
As he goes into, yep, as well. He's slowing down a little bit here, going into turn 4, and there he is. He's going to commit to pit road.
Oh, he's a little wide. Oh, he's going to slide it. Oh, he's going to spin it out. No.
You hate to see it. Oh, my. That's a hard break for Chuck Sweeting going into pit road.
I have to believe he was probably speeding, too. He's just kind of stopped there. Oh, he's going to tow it. Wow. Well, the perfect strategy just kind of went awry there for Chuck Sweeting. And that's going to hand the lead over to Paul Ross. Well, at this point, with 40 laps to go, and has disconnected for the night, I wonder if that was just frustration that caused him to tow it and call it a night. Because he definitely did not hit anything. I have to believe that was just maybe knowing he had it, and just that small mistake cost him. Now at this point, Hunter, I think it may be a game of who else can make it to the end, if anybody. I believe these guys may have to try one more stop.
I think the only 3 that could have a chance was the Richard Lafferty and those 3 guys that came down just a couple of laps before Chuck, as he had the mistake. I think those 3 could maybe string it out to the end of the race.
Kind of know at this point, Paul's going to have to pit again. I believe Sam Close definitely in that boat as well. Paul Ross currently has an 8-second lead. Kind of looking through once again for battles here. Here's a good battle for a third. Luis Almaso, Richard Lafferty, and Matt Hackathorn. Lafferty going to get that spot from Luis. Actually, no, excuse me. Lafferty is lapped down. Probably look at scoring before I start calling stuff. So our producer has informed us that based on last time they pitted, Johnny Thomas and Richard Lafferty are probably the best chances of making it to the end. And Peter Short as well.
As you see, Johnny Thomas has got his lap back now in the 8th position, and Peter Short is pushing for that lap back as well if he hadn't got it already for that 9th position.
And I believe, yeah, I was going to say, I think he's putting in the clutch, turning it off, trying to save fuel here. So obviously, it's going to be that close here. Yep, definitely heard it that time. So we'll hear it into 1. You're going to hear him most likely pushing the clutch here, essentially shutting the motor off and saving fuel. Definitely a, that kind of gives us a perspective, Hunter, on how close it's going to be for Johnny, but this could possibly... We knew that the winning strategy was probably going to be with Chuck. Now that he's out of the race, this might be possibly your winner here tonight, if he can pull it off.
I think Johnny Thomas and Peter Short could be a shootout towards the end of the race. As you say, Peter Short has that damage on the right side. You gotta think he hasn't repaired it at all. Maybe hope that damage doesn't hurt him in the long shot.
Just behind. Well, this is on board. Peter Short just ahead. Johnny Thomas. Currently 8th and 9th.
As we say this, Paul Ross in the 18 has went down pit road with 33 laps to the left. You know this is the last pit stop of the night. Who else could follow with him?
Well, this was kind of the number I was thinking, and obviously confirmed it. I have to believe Samuel Close may follow him down this time. They've been kind of pitting on the same strategy. And the 4 of Luis Almaso brings it down. Paul Ross rolling off. Cameron Rich took over the lead there from Paul. Samuel Close second there. And, yep, now he's going to bring it in. Nathan Boaz will go to second. And the gap between Johnny and Peter Short has started to close up a little bit. That battle is important because that might be where the battle for the win will be residing. I believe Johnny, I still hear him on a little bit of fuel saving here. That gap is closed down to 0.6 of a second. We're kind of setting up for quite the interesting finish here between two differing strategies here. Paul Ross thought he was going to pit with 30 to go, and he does, so split it up into thirds here. Thomas kind of split it in half. Nathan Vlez brings it down pit road. A lot more guys pitting here. Nathan Vlez mentioned. Cameron Rich.
As Cameron Rich goes down the apron, going down the back straightaway, you gotta think maybe he's pitting this time because he has to go at least one more time as well as the rest of them. As he's pulling down, he does not pit this time.
Johnny Thomas, the new leader, and we are now hearing Peter Short do the same strategy as Johnny, pushing in the clutch, trying to save as much fuel as possible. Heard it just before all those cars started diving down pit road. They're going to get by the 64 of Chad Brown. Hear it there. And as long as he's doing it, he's still just about on the back bumper of Johnny Thomas. Just has to do with this lap car. But that gap is gone. 0.3 of a second separating the two. Paul Ross, about 10 seconds back of these guys on much fresher tires.
Now Johnny Thomas is no longer saving the fuel, so it could be from here on out, Johnny Thomas, Peter Short going all out for that win.
Wade Lear in third, and we're definitely going to have to monitor the 18 as well. All those guys are done with their stops. Thomas and Short kind of made their bed with a good strategy. With 25 laps to go. This is going to be quite the interesting finish here. Yeah, Ross slowly cutting that gap down. About a second that last time by, down to 8 seconds now. 8.5, I should say. But steadily closing that gap.
As the Paul Ross takes the lower side of the 03 of Wade Lear. Going to turn 1, he's going to pass him on the inside, and now he's at his sight sets for Peter Short and Johnny Thomas.
Pretty steady, about a second a lap. He's closing down on these two. Not really racing all that hard, bumper to bumper at the moment. And, they're going to begin racing here. Peter Short down to the bottom. Not going to have Thomas quite closed off there. Side by side down the back straightaway. And this is only going to continue to hurt the time between them and Paul Ross. I think at this point, with how much Ross is gaining, I don't think there's going to be a question of whether he catches them or not. It's just going to be the question of how quickly does he pass them. 22 laps to go. Sorry.
With the new leader passing Johnny Thomas, Peter Short is now the leader. Now we got to see if he can pull away from Johnny Thomas, and hopefully Paul Ross doesn't catch up. But he has more than enough time on fresher tires, and doesn't have to save it all. He's pretty much just pedaled to the floor and just hoping for the best.
Good second a lap better Ross is than the two leaders at the moment a lap, and that gap has dropped all the way down to about 4.5 now. So. No question, he's going to get there. I have to wonder, this was essentially going to be the same strategy that Truck Sweeting was on. If it worked out, no, he had a lot of speed in his car. These two kind of seemed like they're about mid-pack most race, if this would have worked out for him. Board with Paul there. About, you can see it there. in third place there, just in the scoring board, and that time keeps getting lower and lower each lap with 19 to go. As expected, the time that Paul's starting to catch, starting to slow down just a little bit. Peter's definitely started, or has stretched out a little bit here from Johnny Thomas. But at this point, kind of have to think that Johnny put himself in a much better finishing position than I have to believe he would have been. Probably third compared to what would have been maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
That you're right. It's going to be great points for the results at the end for him. But, I mean, there's a lot of racing left. Anything can still happen.
We only had one caution on the night, but can definitely see it at any point here. Especially with a battle like that just behind, between the 91, 4, and 44. 91 a lap down there on fresher tires, so he gets by Tommaso and Hackathorn. This is the battle for 7th, now turning into 6th here with Tommaso underneath the 8. So he will get by the 8 of Lafferty. He's actually going to lose 2 positions there. I see Wade Lear in 5th at the moment. Our producer Carlos trying to mess me up here. Get us off our game. Okay, well, Paul Ross is here now. A second from Peter Short on the back bumper of Johnny Thomas. 15 laps to go, plenty of time here.
14 laps across the start-finish line this time. He's got more than enough time to be able to pass these 2 cars for the lead. As he looks to the inside of the 83, looks like he's just going to easily take that away from Johnny Thomas. As he gets a run off, Johnny Thomas gets a good run. He's still in the upper, but he's going to fall right behind Paul Ross.
As we say this, Peter Short still trying to save enough fuel here, as Paul Ross trying to put an end to the Eisentech reign that they've had on this series so far, trying to get 3OG their first win of the season. Samuel Close almost got it done last week. Oh, and Peter Short's into the wall. Paul Ross is going to get by him.
That he does. He's a little loose in 1 and 2. Hits the wall, and Peter Ross is going to take the inside and take that lead away from Peter Short. The more damage done to the 22 there. Yeah, he's having to hold on to it. He's going to hit the wall again just about. And what a handful he had off of 4 there. It's the same spot he hit the wall earlier in the race as well.
He's not been a fan of turn 4, has he? Well, at this point, I kind of have to believe. Yes, the 22 drives it in deep there. Thomas should have the run off the high side, but it looks like Short's going to have position. At this point, if you're Johnny Thomas and Peter Short, just kind of protect the position you're in at this point. Only 11 laps to go, not really a whole lot of pressure from behind. Cameron Rich 5 seconds back of Thomas at the moment. Kind of put yourself in position to finish here, and it's going to be a great points night, especially for a guy like Johnny Thomas, currently 5th. He has a chance to make up some points here. Oh, possibly the cleanest car out here. So now Johnny Thomas back to saving fuel here. And Hunter, I think at this point, the only thing that can kind of mess this whole field up is that second caution flag of the night.
That you're right. And you got to wonder how much Johnny Thomas has to save more. I mean, you think he might be around the edge, but if that caution comes out, pit lane's going to be very busy, that is for sure.
You see him close. Matt Hackathorn back there. Sam currently 7th. We kind of thought, at least in my mind, it was going to be a flip-flop between Sam and Paul here tonight. But Sam back to 7th at the moment. And Rich kind of trying to work his way through lap traffic at the moment. Luis Salmaso just a little bit behind, a second and a half. As the lap cars get the battling right in front. So no question. Paul Ross out in front, 5.5 seconds. Kind of on cruise control at the moment. Just kind of praying that we don't see that second caution flag of the night. Peter Short, I can hear as well, saving. So both those drivers in fuel saving mode. Just trying to make it to the end here. Really, as we mentioned, well, as soon as I said no pressure, here comes Cameron Rich. He's going to get to the inside of the 83 of Johnny Thomas. That'll put Johnny back to 4th here. Oh, I guess this kind of begs the question, how close was that 83 on fuel and how aggressively does he have to save? He's about to be passed as well by the 4 of Luis Salmaso. Six to go. Luis going to get by Johnny here. Put him back to the 5th spot. Hackathorn about a 2.5 seconds back. Peter still kind of sounds like he's in fuel mode. The 03 of Wade Lear. On pit road.
You have to wonder if Peter Short's going to be able to save enough fuel for the end of the race as well keep that 2nd place spot from Cameron Rich.
Yes, sir. It was the 03. Fuel only, and he is off. Obviously could not make it to the end. Battle for 5th is on. Johnny's still on the clutch in the corners. Matt Hackathorn about there. And close in this battle as well. Close is going to try and get to the 44. Hackathorn's actually going to block him into 3 here. And Johnny loses 2 positions on that. So heavy fuel saving mode, I'd have to believe, here on the 83. On the 5! Through the grass, he's going to save it, and he will. What a fantastic save from the 5 of Samuel Close. Unfortunately, goes back to where he was. You can see the heavy blocking there by the 44. Trying to secure that position. And where does it all go wrong? Oh, some contact there with the 44. Sends him through the grass. Well, he gathers it back up. Not going to lose any positions. More than what he was already back to.
And that helps out Paul Ross. Not have to worry about a caution probably for the rest of the race. You got to think that could have been a heck of a restart for the green-white.
Yes, sir. The white flag is out for Paul Ross.
As he carries it down for the back straight for the last time into turn 3 and 4.
Last week said he was kind of iffy about this racetrack. Well, tonight he's going to round turn 4, gave 3OG Racing their first win of the season. Paul Ross going to victory lane here at Las Vegas. Peter Short going to barely squeak out his teammate there for 2nd. Cameron Rich going to come home 3rd. Almaso going to come home 4th, Hackthorn 5th. And Johnny Thomas come home 7th. Sam Close ultimately got by Johnny once again. Well, Paul's going to come down here to the infield, and I think he's been really looking forward to this burnout. He's going to burn the hides off those tires here on the front straightaway. Well, maybe not.
Now he's going to give a big salute to the crowd as they've been watching the race all night tonight, as a good race it was.
While he does his Polish victory lap here, why don't we start talking to some drivers here? All actually going to pull down pit road, so... As you see the teammates giving a little bump there on pit road. Oh, I think Johnny's probably out of fuel, actually. I think Richard Lafferty is going to push him home. Well, why don't we see if we can speak to our race winner here, Paul Ross? As Peter Short, just behind him too, ran out just at the end of the race. So, we'll bring in Paul Ross here.
Behind Peter.
Oh, Paul, you got us?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I have to believe it's going very well for you as well. Finally broke through, got 3OG their first victory here, and didn't seem to mind everybody else's strategy here tonight. You just kind of stuck with yours, and ultimately you ended up in victory lane. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it sucks for Chuck. It was going to be interesting to see how that played out, him doing one less pit stop. During practice, I ran an entire fuel run, and I ran out on 40, coming to 41. So I'm not sure how he made it so many more laps than that, but sucks for him. Beyond excited. Last cup win I had was, I think, Atlanta last year, which was the second or third race in. So feels good to get 3OG. Yeah, that is correct. I still feel bad about that for what happened between me and Finn, but it is what it is. We both moved on. The strategy, though, I did not think anybody was going to be able to do over 40 laps, so I just broke it up into the shortest even amount to run, or most even laps per run that I could. And Chuck ran an extra 8 or 9 that first run, and I kind of started worrying there. And then when he pit with 40 to go, I knew that he could make it. So sucks for him, but feels good to be back in victory lane.
Well, we know 2 cars stayed out, tried to push it to the end, the 22 and the 83. Coming off pit road that final time, was there any worry that they may be able to make it to the end, or were you pretty confident that you had the car to get back up there?
I figured they could make it to the end, but when I came out, I think I was 16 or 18 seconds behind Johnny, and pretty much every lap I was checking to see how much time I was making up on him, and once I could see him with about 10 or 12 laps to go, I assumed that I was going to be okay, but I also didn't know how much of a fight they were going to put up and how bad I was going to burn my tires off. And at that point, I saw Cameron behind me. He was, I believe, 6 seconds back. But there was one run where he started out 6 seconds back and got it down to a couple seconds. So once I held him off and once I caught those guys, I was just praying there wasn't a caution.
Pretty clean race tonight, so we'll go on to next week. You go from a short track to a 1.5 miles back to a short track of Iowa. What's your take on that?
I love Iowa. I don't have the finishes to show for it, but I really enjoy the track. I absolutely hate Las Vegas, so hopefully we can keep that momentum swinging forward and hopefully at least get a top 3 or top 5 and try to get some bonus points at halfway.
All right, well, before we let you go here, I want to give you a chance to thank anybody you need to. Sponsors on the hood. Car definitely looks fit for Vegas here tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a scratch on it. I haven't got out of the car to look at it yet, but first and foremost, I want to thank Corey Lindsay. He puts in so much work to keep this league going and to get it to what it is. I mean, I can't say enough about the guy. Between everything he has going on with work and the internship and school and still trying to keep this league running, he does one hell of a job. I want to thank you guys, 3Y TV, for broadcasting our cup races. I want to thank my teammates. Rusty wasn't here tonight, but I want to thank Sam and Luis. Without those guys, I don't know where the team would be. And want to thank Mountain Fit Hoods, Skidoo, House of Color, and B&M Fabrications for being on the car this year.
All right, well, congratulations. Win number 1 on the season for 3OG. I have to imagine you're going to hit a lot more before the season's end.
As long as we can keep Eisentech out of there, we're good.
All right, so that was Paul Ross here tonight. Gets the win at Vegas, and I believe, Hunter, we're going to send you over with the 22 of Peter Short. Finished second here tonight.
Hey there, Peter Short. You hear me now?
Definitely.
So that was a crazy race night. How did you think the save the fuel was going to last for you? Did you have any worries? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I could make it. I just didn't know how much I'd have to roll out of it to make it. I stretched the final fuel run, or the final pit stop. I stretched it 1 lap longer than Johnny Thomas, and that worked to my advantage because I knew how close we were going to be. And I was able to race him and get the lead. And, I was like, all right, great. We have a shot at this thing. And Paul was just on a rail tonight, just absolutely crazy. My first stint, I was kind of sucked up behind him. I was running second for a lot of it, and I just had a lot of rear brake in it, and ate up my rear tires on the entry of the corner, and it just killed me up off. I got a little bit loose a couple times, smacked the outside wall, and I think the right side damage, hurt my car quite a bit. And it really dropped me back, I think, to 7th or 8th in that first run. And then after that, I just had to change up my strategy from what everyone else was doing around me. So all in all, coming home with second with a right side of my car that was as crinkled as it was is not bad. I ran out of fuel right at the start-finish line on the last lap, so just had enough fuel to coast it around at 10 miles an hour into my pit stall. So played the numbers right tonight.
Well, that you did. I mean, gambling we are in Vegas, but gambling is a prime thing to happen. So as we come into Vegas, you got second place. Next week's Iowa. How are you feeling about that?
I hate Iowa. It's not a good track for me. I think I won a race there maybe last year in the 3 Rock Series, but Iowa and I just don't get along. I really hate it, and it's just really difficult to pass. Track positions means so much, and it's just a track that doesn't seem to suit my style very well. So we'll see. We've had a fantastic start to the season, but hopefully we can try and keep it rolling next week.
All right, with that great finish, anybody to thank for tonight?
Just got to thank Eisentech, Drew Eisman, for leading that whole gang. I want to thank Carlos and RaceKings for sponsoring the league, Corey for putting it all together. It's a lot of fun racing here, and it's races like tonight when I think we only had 1 caution flag the whole race. Those are the fun races, so it's cool to get races like this every once in a while, and clean and green. And,
that you are right.
And lastly, thank you all for broadcasting. I'll be listening to the broadcast tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we appreciate you, Peter Short. As we go on for the rest of the season, I'd like to tell you good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you all.
All right, Justin, we'll take it back to you.
That was Peter Short, came home second here tonight. Now we'll talk to his teammate, Cameron Rich, who comes home third. And Cameron, you got us?
What's up?
All right, well, you kind of proved me wrong at the beginning of the race. It didn't really seem like you were very comfortable with the track. Came home third, however, and really, it seemed like all race long you were trying to get 1 and 2, that high lane really rolling.
Yeah, I don't know if it was fast, but it sure looked cool. I guess that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Looked like Kyle Larson up there.
Yeah, I felt Kyle Larson too when I smacked the wall a couple times, but yeah, I didn't qualify very well. I honestly wasn't that great on the short run. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just say screw it and try to, be fast on the long run. So I took it real easy and just kind of tried to learn the track throughout the race. And, I guess, No, it worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Absolutely. And I'm sure your teammate Peter Short already informed you, ran out right at the line. It was very close between you two at the end. Did you think he was going to make it?
Yeah, he told me he was low on fuel. He was trying to play the long game and stretch it. He told me he might run out off of 4, so no, I was kind of hoping he would, and I get him. But yeah, I didn't really have a strategy for tonight. I kind of just played it by ear, and kind of when Paul pitted, I was like, oh well, I better pit or I'm gonna lose like 20 seconds. Then I didn't pit when he pitted, and I lost like 20 seconds, and I was like, well, shit, what the hell am I gonna do now?
Well, we move on from the 1.5 miles to Iowa, a short track. Last time we were at a short track, 5 Flags, ended up in Victory Lane. What's your outlook for Iowa?
I like Iowa. My favorite track in iRacing is probably Richmond. It's my home. It's one of my home tracks too, where I live. They're not that much similar. They look similar, kind of, but they're not that much similar. I hope I do well. We'll see.
Alright, so before we let you go here tonight, got anybody you want to thank, the sponsors and such?
I want to thank Carlos for sponsoring the series. He's a cool dude. Really appreciate everything he does for the league and all that stuff. He works his ass off. So shout out to him and Corey for putting up with us, because we give him a bunch of crap all the time, and I probably wouldn't want to put up with everybody, but he doesn't. And of course, all my teammates, they're all awesome. So good on you.
Alright, well that was Cameron Rich, comes home 3rd here tonight. Cameron, good luck at Iowa next week.
Alright, thanks guys.
Alright, so that's gonna do it for us here tonight. Before we let you go, let's take you through where everybody finished here tonight. You know your winner. Paul Ross finally breaks that Eisentech streak and gets the first win of the season for 3OG. Peter Short barely makes it to the line in 2nd. Cameron Rich comes home 3rd. Luis Salmaso comes home 4th. Matt Hackathorn will round out top 5 there. Samuel Close comes home 6th. Johnny Thomas stretches the field for 7th. Richard Lafferty 8th. Nathan Velez 9th. And Christopher Munger can round out the top 10 there.
Then we have Dylan Hickey in the 11th spot, Nick Miller in the 12th, Jordan Till in the 13th spot, Richard Hines in the 14th, Wade Lear in the 15th, Chad Brown in the 16th spot, Todd Smith 17th, Chuck Sweeting after the heartbreak ends up in 18th, Cody Wright in the 19th, and Kyle Hanshaw in the 20th. Then we have Kevin Finn in the 21st, Mike Stevens in the 22nd, and last but not least, Drew in... Just came out Drew there.
Alright, so before we let you go, just want to remind you that the awesome cameras we had here tonight, those were provided by TrackCams for Gourmets. You can find more information or download the packs at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. So for Carlos Costa, Hunter Holberg, I'm Justin Cole. We'll be here tonight. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week at Iowa.